It's race day in Talladega. Crash through the tri-oval. A big hit. This is the big one at Talladega. Today marks the 31st time the NASCAR Xfinity Series is raced here at Talladega. It's our 8th race of 2021. And the weather forecast said rain and thunderstorms. But we have got a gorgeous Saturday afternoon. High temperature in the low 80s. And we hope the precipitation stays away. So 4 times a driver has won for the first time in their career at Talladega. And the most recent coming 1 year ago when Justin Haley got it done. And he's so good at this place, he said, I'm going to get the sweep. He won here in October as well. Let's go from the driver's seat with number 11, Haley, starting 5th this afternoon. Joey?
Absolutely. Let's check in with him. Justin Haley, Joey Logano up here in the Fox booth. You got a copy on us?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, man, you're 2 in a row here in Talladega. You're going for the hat trick. It's a big deal at Talladega, of course. What is your plan here today? You got some teammates out there. How are you going to get it 3 in a row?
Yeah, we hopefully first step is having a really fast leaf filter gutter protection Chevrolet. I'm proud of all those guys. It's Colin Grayson have done that for me. Everyone at the Turnover of Eagles. But yeah, we got to get hooked up with our 2 teammates, AJ and Jeff. Hopefully ride and then chill out for a little bit and take it easy, take it calm, and then see what we got a little bit later.
I've never seen anything go too easy or calm at Talladega before. Good luck doing that. Hopefully it works out well for you. You've been exciting to watch here on the Superspeedway, so have a good one, man.
Stand for it. Thank you, Joey.
Confidence is key, and if you're driving for Colleague, you've got to like your chances when you come to Daytona or Talladega. Look at them at Talladega. 11 starts for the team, a pair of wins. They came a year ago, top 5 on 3 different occasions. And they've led 75 laps here. And we all know, if you're going to win here, you have to have some help in the draft. So how do you balance it out, Joey? Focusing on getting with your teammates and working with them versus just being selfish and saying, I'm going to go get it myself.
There is a fine line to that because I don't believe you can win all by yourself anymore in a super speedway. You got to have, whether it's manufacturers alliances or your teammate alliance, at some point during this race, you're going to need a little bit of help. You're going to need a friend at some point to maybe let you in, maybe to help push you to the front, help you win a stage. You're going to have to do that. And sometimes you're not always the one that's going to get the push. You're going to have to be the one doing the pushing. And that's not as much fun. Trust me, you as a racer, you are naturally selfish to go out there and win the race, but you have to realize you need friends that do that, and you can't always be taken.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, if you want to have somebody that's going to be there at the end of this race, as everyone gets more and more aggressive as we close in to the finish, you got to try and, you know, do the work with the guys that you want to be connected with, hoping that they're still in the race and in one piece as we get to the end. Do some favors for, you know, some of your teammates, you know, manufacturer alliances, whatever it might be, in hopes that, you know, when it comes down to it at the end, you'll be able to do some good work and maintain that track position or go and get it if you don't have it.
There's also the pit strategy that goes along with that too.
Absolutely.
You know, pitting together is important as well.
You guys just talked about one thing I want to focus on, and that's aggression. Because I talked to a lot of drivers this week. Some said you have to be aggressive. Others said you must be patient, be there at the end. How does all of that shake out, Joey?
You might not be talking to the right person. I'm the guy that's going to run up front all day long if I can. Because I feel like I'm learning a lot because of that. I can get my stage points because there's no guarantee what's going to happen at the end of this race. You're talking to a guy that says 5 straight DNFs on Super Speedway, so maybe it's not the best advice, but I got a few wins to go along with that, so it's really checkers or records for me. That's my attitude out there. I can't say it's right every time, but most of the time you can get up front and lead some laps, get a lot of points by the end of the day. That's the least you can do at these tracks.
Yeah, I'm on the same page as him. Unfortunately, like the last, I think I'd even complete the first lap here in a Cup car last year. I was crashed. So I mean, it's checkers or records, and I vibe with that. I get it. It's a lot of fun to race and be up front and be aggressive all day.
And if you're too aggressive, you might just end up in the big one. We seem to always see it at Talladega.
I don't know. You just see like dipshits out there that look like they're gonna wreck. and they're all squirrely whirlies up there in front of you.
I think you're watching some guys make moves, and it puts you in this mindset of, hey, they're going to make a mistake, they're going to cause the big one, and I want to get out.
You can just feel things are building, and it's going to be hectic whether you come out on the other side of it or not. The best way to avoid that is to bail out sometimes.
I feel like about 15th to 25th is the worst spot you want to be, because somebody wrecks up front, you're getting lifted into it. So I don't know, checkers or wreckers for me.
It's official, the drinking phrase today, it is checkers or wreckers. That's at least 4 times I've heard it. Now we hear from our pit reporters, Vince Welch and Regan Smith, working the pit lane. And Regan, you get to go first because you won here in 2013. What's going on?
Well, I appreciate that, Adam. Such a great memory. You know, Talladega is an amazing facility to race at. Josh Berry, making one of his first starts here, is the winner from the most recent Xfinity race that we saw. With that win came in numerous things, one of which being extra sponsorship, a very good pick pit for today, his best starting position in the Xfinity series, and more importantly than that, the respect and confidence of his competitors. Very important in the draft today. He was quick in Daytona. He feels very good about his chances to win at the shortest track a couple weeks ago in Martinsville, double it up at the longest track at Talladega. Vince?
Well, Regan, Brandon Jones in this 19 team is one of the 4 that's eligible for the $100,000 Dash for Cash bonus today. And when I talked to Jones before he got in the car, he made no bones about the fact that he was excited. He said there's a little extra incentive. And said, in fact, he'd recently moved into a new home. He'd like the new home gym. He's got some of that money spent already. So, yeah, it goes quick. Easy to spend that money, but oh, so hard to earn that Dash for Cash $100,000 bonus, especially here at Talladega. A lot has to go your way.
Vince, if he gets the win and he gets the $100,000 he puts in that workout room, he's got to invite us over for a workout, right? I mean, we got to go see the new place, check it all out.
Yeah, I'm surprised he got the home gym. I mean, DRD's got one heck of a setup I've seen on social media quite a bit, so.
I might just go to Planet Fitness. I'll be good there.
Here's a sponsor plug, slid right in. Our
You
race
like that?
analysis, stage 1, stage 2, 25 laps each. That leaves us 63 laps to the checkered flag. In the fuel window, 40 to 42, we could see green flag pit stops in that final stage. That's always a challenge here. And we talk about Brandon Jones, Josh Berry, 2 of the 4 going for the $100,000 bonus today via the Dash for Cash. Daniel Hemrick on the board, starting on the front row. Noah Gragson got the bonus at Martinsville a couple of weeks ago. He starts 4th. And while we don't have to focus on those drivers early, it will be a major talking point late. And by the way, these guys don't have to win to get the money. They just have to finish best amongst that foursome. And now some team radio as we get set for the green flag.
That's a good looking hot rod. I feel good, man. Won us the race. Got a great opportunity today to do something pretty cool. We'll be good. Absolutely. I know you're pretty good at the speedway stuff, even with. Let your hair down. Trust your gut. Let that thing roll today. Have fun out there.
Give me an idea of the mental focus for the drivers right now, because you sit around all day long. You know there's a chance of rain, and maybe we're not going to race today. Now it's a reality. How do you reel it all in and get set to go compete?
Well, you talked to some of these drivers here before, you know, they're saying about how, you know, we're going to be relaxed. We're going to try to take our time. He's saying he's going to let his hair down a minute ago, right, and have some fun out there. You know, I think early in these races, it's important to go make moves. Just go make moves. They might not always work. You have plenty of time to recover. It's still early. Yes, it's a short race. It's only 13 laps or so. So it's a short race, but you can still afford to make a couple mistakes and learn for later on. And I feel like that's probably the biggest thing for these Xfinity drivers that don't have a whole bunch of super speedway experiences, that go out there and do it. Just make the move, you know, and eventually, you know, you'll figure out what works and what doesn't, because these days we don't have practice anymore, so you don't go out and try it then. So how else are you going to learn? Staying in line will not do that.
Yeah, you know, you got all this anticipation, right, as you mentioned. Doesn't look like we're going to get to race today. The weather's cleared up. We got cars on track. You know, getting ready to take the green here next time by. And so, as you mentioned, Joe, I think getting out there and making moves is important, but I think what's going to be important for a lot of these guys that are so built up anxious, now they're like, oh, we're going to go race now. We didn't think we were going to race before. Just don't make aggressive moves. That's when we see the wrecks. It's okay to make those moves and try things just, you know, don't cut it too close too early. You got a long way to go. You know, it's a lot harder to win this race if you've crashed and ripped your nose off or teared your side up. So believe me, I did it. So
now our Ford Performance track facts: 6 wins at Talladega for the Blue Oval. The first coming for Chad Little in 1995. His son Jesse is racing today, and the last courtesy of Eric Almirola, who did it in 2017, driving that 98 car a handful of years ago. Joey, you've won here in a Ford. In fact, Penske's won here a couple of times. You did it. Brad Keselowski did it. And the pole sitter trying to join you today, the reigning champ, Austin Cindric. And, you know, he did something that had never been done by a Roger Penske-owned team before earlier this season, winning in an Xfinity car at Daytona, and I've got to believe that knowledge helps and translates here to today.
Absolutely, and boy, that has been taking forever. Brad and I and Blaney all have been so close to winning that Daytona Xfinity race, and I swear we wreck on the last lap every time, so it was awesome that Cindric was able to get that done. But you know, being up front, like we said, making moves, you learn a lot, but you also gain confidence. And I feel like a confident race car driver on a super speedway, you know it. You know, when you're following somebody, you know when this guy's confident, knows what he's doing, you're probably going to get more people to go with you.
Yeah, absolutely. And talking about Austin, I mean, he's a driver that has all the confidence in the world on these road courses. And as we've seen him grow and get better in the 1.5 miles, the short tracks, and even the super speedways now at Daytona, you see that confidence growing, and he just, you know, knows how to command the car and is really filling into his shoes. It's been exciting to watch him develop into a champion and a good super speedway racer as well.
About to go green, the pace car is in. Joey Gase, unfortunately mechanical problems, has already taken his car to the garage. Settle in for a great Saturday afternoon in the Xfinity Series. 113 laps at Talladega. Front row, Austin Cindric, Daniel Hemrick. Here we go from Alabama.
And this is where you just see a shove fest, right? When there's 2 by 2 by 2. Someone's trying to single file out, whether it's the top or the bottom, try to gain control of the race. Right now you see those top 2 cars able to be a little bit closer. They're probably going to push out ahead of the 22.
Yeah, you know, this is the start of the race, but hey, initial start is a great time to work on the timing and pushing. And we saw the front row, you know, really have the second row really stuck to their back bumper for a good bit there. So you can take some notes here and get some experience for later in the race when that push and that restart's going to matter the most.
And with these Xfinity cars now, there's a rule you cannot. Ooh, that's going to be close there. You got to be close when you start pushing like that. And you can push, you can bump here, but you cannot attach bumpers. So you can do light taps back and forth with each other, but outside of that, they will black flag you if you stay hooked too long.
Saw Harrison Burton in the 20 jump up into that outside lane right behind his teammate Daniel Hemrick in the bright orange 18. Cindric hanging on to that double yellow line in the inside lane.
You got a couple Gibbs cars up top as you see Hemrick choosing to stay up top to pull along his teammate Harrison Burton.
And you see all that speedy drive being kicked up. ARCA race earlier today, they had a big crash on the back straightaway. How much does that mess with your vision and maybe even mentally as you go through that amongst the pack?
It's definitely not fun to go through it the first time if you don't know it's there. It could be a little bit alarming when you're that close together, but you know, the sun's not setting down and low and really blasting drivers in the face yet, but you know, they'll get a tear off here eventually in this pit stop, but you definitely don't want to have that early on and lose a lot of vision. But so far the sun's being pretty kind, and I think their vision will be fine right now.
Talking about vision, a great shot here to show you that. It's our Nutrien Ag Solutions onboard camera. Jeb Burton, second here a season ago, then driving for Junior Motorsports and pacing the field. That 18 of Daniel Hemrick, and he's doing an outstanding job of working both lanes and keeping the competition behind him.
Go ahead, Joey.
Guys, this is a nice place to be if you're Daniel Hemrick. You know, you're up front. You can kind of control both lanes, go back and forth as needed. The runs in these Xfinity cars are not the same as the Cup cars. With that big spoiler we have in our Cup cars, it's really hard to stop some of the runs. These have more, I call it a bubble behind the car. It's more like, I always say, imagine a beach ball. And as it gets compressed, it kind of pushes that front car out ahead. So you have more of that bubble in between the cars where it becomes a little bit easier to control the lines back and forth. But eventually you got to make a decision. If they're coming at you at the same speed in both lanes and you're the leader, well, you got to pick one of them. And that's where you rely a lot on your spotter and your rearview mirror.
Yeah, absolutely. These runs a lot of times develop behind the car that you can see in your rearview mirror. It's 2-3 cars behind them, you know, shoving and that accordion effect. And just timing that is hard to do by yourself, and that's why the spotters are so important here at the super speedways.
What's fun about this racing, though, I mean, they are pinned all the way around here. You're not lifting, even getting close to doing that at Talladega. And it's all about working the air around you, working the draft. We always say it's a chess game. That's what it's about.
It's a chess match, and it's stressful in the draft. Daniel Hemrick, your race leader, early at Talladega. NASCAR Xfinity Series Racing is sponsored by Credit One Bank, the official credit card of NASCAR. Daniel Hemrick has led the first 7 laps at Talladega for the NASCAR Xfinity Series, but we go on board with Justin Haley, and he is making that inside lane work. What's the latest there, Regan?
Well, Adam, Justin Haley, as you see him battling for the lead right now on the inside, he had a little question mark in his head before this race started about how good that car would be. A brand new race car. He tore up the car that he won 3 straight races with the last time when we were at Daytona at the Speedways. Right now, I would say that question has been answered. That car looks pretty darn good to me.
First 3 wins of his career on super speedways. We talk about the sweep at Talladega, also won last August at Daytona. Only one other driver has won their first 3 career races in the Xfinity Series on plate tracks. His name, Hall of Famer Tony Stewart.
In a bad spot, if we try and side draft to keep our momentum there, that 10's going to shuck you.
Maybe Warren's trying to see if he'll come with me.
Yeah, but again, they're going to want to line up. They're going to tell you, yeah, they're going to shuck you. They do it every time.
Yeah, that's a good point there, and Stevie Reeves, a spotter there, heads up call by saying that, you know, he's talking about side draft in the outside lane. You know, when you're part of that lane, you got to do your part in the lane to move it forward. A lot of that is with side drafting, and when you look at this group right now, there's a big gap down the center, and that means no one's side drafting each other, and it's open. And they're saying if Brendan Jones goes and side drafts the top, that other Collick car is just going to bail on him and try to get with his teammate. He just goes up there anyway.
Well, he wanted out of that.
Get out of there.
That fixes that, doesn't it?
That's gutsy right there.
He did it before somebody else did it to him. And now you see the bottom lane is very weak. Not many cars down there at all. Not to say about those cars in particular, but it's just not enough of them. I see this top really starting to move forward right now.
Yeah, this is definitely when some of those cars just start to disappear. And if you're Justin Haley or Jeb Burton and Myatt Snyder, you're
looking for a hole.
Looking for a hole, yeah, absolutely.
You look in the mirror and you go, it's just us? Oh, no.
Yeah.
What about that 7 car, Vince?
Well, Justin Allgaier has not had much luck on the super speedways. Between Daytona and here, the last 5 super speedway races have featured 4 crashes and an engine failure. He told me that was certainly not lost on him before he got in the car today. He said, in fact, he changed his mind a couple of times on what his strategy would be by the time he left the hauler and got to his car. He said, should I ride in the back and play it safe, or should I ride up front? I said, when you make that decision? He said, by lap 5, if I'm still up in the mix, I'll be in the mix. If not, I'm going to go to the back. Well, you see, he's still in that front pack, so he must like what he has and what he feels.
And you know what he's got going for him today? He's already won this season. So if he gets another DNF and makes it 6 in a row here at Talladega, he's already locked into the playoffs and everything is fine. He was able to get the victory at Atlanta Motor Speedway.
And it's such an interesting, we were talking about mentalities before the race started here, about what's your mindset before this race starts. And I always say this, and it's a horrible feeling at the same time, is say, you know, my chances of finishing this race is about 50-50. Whether I'm going to be on the hook or I'm going to be coming across the start-finish line on the last lap of 500 miles. And that's not really a comforting feeling sometimes. You know, you strap in and you say, oh, I better tighten his belt a little bit extra today, because you just don't know what's going to happen and when it's going to happen. But it doesn't change your mindset of going out there and being aggressive and racing to win. And that's, at least for me, that's where my head's always at. I want to race to win. And you know, you see a lot of these guys already, you know, early in this race, as they stay too wide for a long time. Guys were racing fairly hard there, and now you see some laps starting to click off as they, you know, get to the end of this first stage here, 13 to go. Everyone's putting together a plan now. Okay, when are we going to make a move? At what point is that? Is it 1 to go, 2 to go, off of 4? You just don't know yet.
Talked so much today about colleague racing. Here's A.J. Allmendinger in the 16.
Like, not going anywhere. Side draft, you make the 3 wide, like, for what? Yeah, I'm not losing the back here.
Need stage points. I mean, we're racing for the championship this year. We're not riding around. I'll talk to him when it gets caution. Yeah, never mind. I'm going to get off this radio because I'll be on radioactive.
Hey, that's Chris Rice, but he brings up a great point. Last year, when they came here, they would ride in the back and just avoid any big accident. But you know what? They were running part-time. They didn't need stage points. This year, he's full-time. He would love those stage points, so perhaps the game plan changes a little bit. Allmendinger is 17th. Hemrick leads. He's led them all. You're watching the NASCAR Xfinity Series on Fox. And I believe we have a new leader at Talladega, but it's going back and forth between Noah Gragson and Daniel Hemrick. The key here, those Chevys working together down low.
Yeah, this is the alliance that we talk about. You got to have friends out there. We talked about this before the race. The College cars were committed to staying down there. As soon as they started making traction, you saw a few other Chevys get down there. Then the 9, he was kind of the lead Chevy. He jumped down there, and they started really making progress. Got all the way really past the 19 of Hemrick at one point as they kind of fought back on the top side. But once they all formed and were allowed to do that and move forward, it kind of changed the whole complexity of this race. Wow, some aggressive blocking here.
And this might open the door for that lone Ford up there, the 22 of Austin Cindric, who right now is being very, very patient in that outside lane. The Fox Bet Super 6 app is giving you a chance to win Clint's brand new Camping World RV and $25,000. Just download the app and pick 6 outcomes about Stage 2 during the Geico 500 tomorrow for your shot to win. It's free to play. Don't miss out. And play now. Inside of 10 laps to go. 7 remaining. Stage 1 for the NASCAR Xfinity Series at Talladega. Daniel Hemrick has led every lap but one as we go on board with his teammate Harrison Burton. And that one lap Hemrick didn't lead was given credit to Noah Gragson, who spent some time out front. Regan?
Well, Adam, I had to chuckle when we saw Noah Gragson make that quick move to the bottom of the racetrack. I polled the majority of the drivers in this field today, said, how aggressive are you going to be? How early will you do it? 90% of them said, we are going to wait. We're going to be patient. I'll give you guys a guess as the one that did not say that. He's the one that's on the bottom of the track right now trying to get the lead. Noah Gragson said all day long, I'm going for the win.
I like that attitude. I like the attitude of going all day trying to get the win. I tell you, Austin Cindric is not okay riding behind Daniel Hemrick. He just made a great move to get underneath him. I don't know if it's going to be enough to clear him. It looks like it might be.
Now he's making me look foolish. I was talking about how patient he's been, and there he goes, slingshotting to the front. The 22, the Daytona winner, Austin Cindric, is now out in front of the field. Maybe.
For now, yeah. No, I guess, you know, six to go is when he wanted to start mixing it up and try and take control of this race. And yeah, the Chevrolets lined up on the bottom with Noah leading that group, you know, reestablished themselves, and I think he wanted to give it a shot down there. Right now, it looks like the right move.
And this is when, if you're Austin Cindric, you're out there, you're the Lone Ranger, you're the only Ford out there up in front right now. And let's look at this move one more time. Here comes Cindric, looking to the top, fakes him out, right down the center, able to pull back on his left rear. That slows Hemrick down quite a bit, and then runs a shorter distance that propels him all the way past him and clears him to take the lead.
There comes that 9 again. Those Chevrolets just working really good together on the bottom, but obviously, you know, Austin's going to be in pretty good position with the guy he just did hang out behind him. Hopefully, you know, he doesn't have any trouble keeping him there, but yeah, you know, the Chevrolets look really good. Austin's car does look good too, so we'll see how this shakes out to the end of the stage.
And if you're Austin Cindric in that position before, he got to the lead, he got down in front of the 9, but he has a line of Chevys behind him. You know, most likely, when they get the opportunity to push you out of the line, they will.
Yep.
And so maybe the better alliance is to go with, although it's a Toyota, there's not as many of them out there, they may be more likely to work with you.
Yeah, we just saw Josh Berry in the 8 there get Harrison out of line, putting him in the middle. But as we were kind of talking about in break, we were waiting for when the middle might start to come to, and this might be their opportunity if, you know, depending on what the outside line does here.
Hey, you mentioned Josh Berry. Keep an eye on our scoring pylon of those drivers highlighted in red. All of them going for a bonus $100,000 today via the Dash for Cash. Whoever finishes best out of that bunch gets the money here today as we go on board with Harrison Burton. This is our offer pad onboard camera, and he is shooting down the middle.
I would say, Joey, I wonder what you think on this, but that middle lane coming to is really taken away the energy that the outside's been able to keep with that bottom line. It's allowed the 9 and some of those Chevrolets to line up on the bottom, which if you're a Ford or a Toyota, you don't want to see that.
Yeah, you're 100% right. Those Chevys are so committed to each other on the bottom, and as soon as they got 3 wide, that outside lane is starting to fall apart and kind of look like it did early in the race, except they're all going to be on the bottom possibly. You know, if they keep staying committed, the top lane needs to get formed somehow. And That's always so hard to do, you know? Like everyone's 2-3 wide. No one wants to give up the spot to get back in line, but if you don't, you're never going to get back up to the lead.
Josh Berry in the 8, working that outside lane, getting a push from his teammate, Justin Allgaier. Up the middle, here comes Austin Cindric, help from Harrison Burton. Can they do anything with Noah Gragson? The 9 is in control, 2 laps remaining in our opening stage.
It's pretty interesting how separated that bottom line of Chevrolets we were just talking about in 3 and 4 got pulled apart. It allowed Austin to get back up there to the 3rd car in line. That's on the bottom there of Jeff Burton.
This is where, you know, the 20 of Harrison Burton, you know, if he can get to that back bumper of the 22, he needs to start knocking the bumper off of that car to move him up through the field. That is going to be the way you move forward right now.
Yeah, it's going to be the difference maker with 2 to go in the stage. If you want to get the stage win and you're not in the line of cars on the bottom with the Chevrolets, you're going to have to really get aggressive and go for this playoff point and these stage points.
You know, Cindric, he just kind of smells playoff points and stage points. He's won 4 stages this year. He's already got 2 wins. We mentioned Daytona, also won at Phoenix, the reigning champ. Off to an unbelievable start as we hit the final lap of the stage. You're riding right side with Jeb Burton, and it's his teammate right now out front. Justin Haley is taking the top spot away.
Oh, AJ.
Big save by AJ Allmendinger back there. And interesting move. You know, Gragson went to block the 22, and then the 11 passed him.
Just left the door
There's
wide
a lot
open.
of stuff
Let him
going
go right
on
through.
here.
Yeah. I think a really good move by the 11 there to run everyone up the hill to try and block this run the 9's going to have. So right now, it looks like it might pan out. We got a long way to go yet. The start-finish line's all the way over here.
You win the stage, you get a playoff point. It carries into the postseason. And here's Justin Haley, back-to-back wins at Talladega a season ago, and he picks up where he left off. Green and white checkered flag to driver 11 in stage number 1. And as he wins it, look at his teammate, AJ Allmendinger, with the big save.
He needs a new pair of shorts after that one.
5th career stage win for Justin Haley. He beats his teammate Jeb Burton back to the line. Opening stage complete for the NASCAR Xfinity Series here at Talladega Superspeedway. Daniel Hemrick led the most laps, 18 circuits out front, but the win goes to Justin Haley. He led the final 2. Pit road is open, and here they come, Vince.
Well, keep an eye on the 20 of Harrison Burton. He'll hit his pit box after finishing 5th in that stage. He just can't be aggressive with the wheel. It's just too loose, so they're going to snug him up. And then the 16 of A.J. Allmendinger, we saw him with that big save, and A.J., maybe the understatement of the year, said, it's not very comfortable. It's too loose for the 16. They'll snug him up as well, Regan.
The exact opposite for AJ's teammate Justin Haley in the 11 car. That race car is just a little bit too tight for him on the bottom. The front tires aren't working well enough. And the 9 car of Noah Gragson expect an extended pit stop here. They want to get adjustments to keep that car off of the splitter. It's been on the splitter too hard.
A good portion of these drivers taking two tires on the opening stop of the day. Jeb Burton, quickest off, beats his teammate Justin Haley, and here's how the 11 got the lead, Joey.
Well, you see right there, the 9 thought the 22 was going to get a good run to make the pass. But what was going on in the bottom lane was so tight that that momentum was going to switch over. And really, Haley just got a gift there.
Yeah.
He just said, here, go ahead. And a great move by the 11.
Haley said, if you're given, I'm taking. And he'll be restarting on the front row with his teammate, you have to believe, when we return to Talladega. NASCAR Xfinity Series racing is sponsored by Credit One Bank, the official credit card of NASCAR, and by Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. Taste unbelievably delicious. Getting ready to go in stage number 2 for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Jeb Burton wins the race off pit road. No one stayed out, so he'll be the race leader here.
Well, Brett, when we were running the bottom there and you were talking about the middle, you wouldn't tell me to block the middle. I'm trying to figure out your terminology there, what you kept saying about the middle.
Yeah, if we were too out, I should have been telling you a whole lot about the middle, unless they were running the middle, and I'm letting you know because they're trying to drag you down.
Jeb Burton talking with his spotter, Brett Griffin, who's always been really, really good, especially at the Speedway tracks, and that's why he is working with him here today. Your analysis of what you guys just heard there, the exchange between driver and spotter.
Well, the chemistry between a spotter and driver at a super speedway could never be more important. And, you know, you don't get to do this all the time, and, you know, you do this 4 times a year. And, you know, you're used to working with, you know, if you're a Cup guy, you're working with your Cup guy all the time. So it's just trying to get everyone on the same page. The best thing you can do is just ask a question. What did you mean when you said that during the race, so you know, because there's a long ways to go here.
Hey, Jeb Burton takes the inside lane. I thought with his teammate on the front row with him, maybe he'd take the outside, they'd work together, and he blends down. That not the case. Teammates side by side here.
We'll have to see.
Unless they got something we haven't thought of that's getting ready to happen.
Let's listen in to Austin Cindric. Outside row 2 for the restart.
Not clear yet. Crew's right here, Bubba. One behind him is a 98. Everybody half in front, half in front, half in front. Still inside. Tight to you. 2's on you. 2 is being pushed behind by half. On you now. On you. Moving up, moving up. 98's coming to your help. 98's to your help. Just the 2 outside. Just the 2 outside. 98-16 still to you. 98-16 still to you. 16's undecided. 98 pushing you. Mid of 3. All right, we got all the helpers still there. Just the 2 up top. Just helpers by 2. All right, you're clear. 98's not. Only the 2 up top. 98's not clear. 2 behind. 98 is clear. 98 is clear. 16 is clear.
Coleman Presley spotting for Austin Cindric. He'll work with Brad Keselowski tomorrow. It was the reverse of what we thought. Instead of the 10 going down in front of the 11, he slid up to the outside in front of the 11. I don't see that often here.
They pulled the okie dokie the other way.
The reverse.
Yeah.
But, you know, something I picked up there listening to Coleman Presley, you know, he's not just spotting for Austin in that moment. He was spotting for the next 2 cars behind him. That's the information you need as a driver. That spotter is so important to paint a picture of what's going on behind you, because you don't ever want to make a move not knowing what's going on around you. You have to take all that into consideration before you make your next play.
Yeah, when someone jumps your outside, it doesn't feel good, right? Best thing that you can hear is you got a Ford behind you. In Austin Cindric's case with Riley Herbst, he's going to go with him. Unfortunately, Myatt Snyder tried to make the aggressive move on the 22 here and fent out the wrong way, and the hard way that Ford's going to stick with a Ford in that situation.
Well, and you heard Coleman talking about the 98. The 98, that's Riley Herbst, another one of the Fords in the race today. First time Cindric has had a dancing partner when it comes to manufacturer help, and a real good start to this race for Riley, who had been top 10 in 2 of the last 3 races coming in. He's got a lot of good ARCA experience here. He's driving for Stewart-Haas Racing his first year over there.
I see a lot of Chevys on the top now.
They stick together, don't they? Either way, which way you go. And when you're in that bottom lane, I don't know if you noticed this, Tyler, a lot, but a fast car on the bottom lane can really help propel it a lot. If you put a mediocre car in front, it doesn't matter how many cars are behind him. He can't really move forward. But when you have a fast car up there, it seems like it's really able to get moving, and especially when you have some committed drivers and teams behind, that helps a lot as well. But a fast car is a fast car, and it moves forward all the time. Yeah, definitely when you're in the situation of like Austin, Riley on the bottom, that's not really ahead of the top line of cars. You're kind of, we saw it earlier, they were leaving the middle of the track pretty wide open, and now the Chevys have kind of lined up top, and they really sucked a lot of the air off the inside line and propelled themselves forward. Isn't it funny, though? As soon as you think you know the way a race is going to go, right? As soon as you say, oh, wow, the top's going to be good, and then the bottom gets good, and then you just keep going back and forth, you're like, which way is this race going to go? You don't know what to do inside the car sometimes. It's three wide right now, and I like it. These guys have definitely, the light switch went off. It's like we're going to be pretty calm, pretty easy going to the end of stage 1, and it's like they started off stage 2, just how they left the first stage. Look at Brandon Brown, 4th in line, outside lane, single car effort out of Virginia. He's starting to work his way to the front. Saw the 0-2 of Brett Moffitt up there as well. He got a penalty on that last set of pit stops. He's worked his way back to the top 15. And here he is, Mr. Aggressive, Noah Gragson, back into the top 5. Going to the top, going to the middle. He's just going wherever they don't go. He's taking the run. You got to use the run. You got to use it. You don't ever know when you're going to get a run like that again. Probably not the same way. They don't happen twice. Here's another thing to think about. When we get to the end of stage 2, this race is official. And we talked about the forecast. There is a chance of rain and thunderstorms throughout the rest of the afternoon. We get to the end of stage 2, could be the end of the race. I expect a lot of aggression in the next 15 laps. Side by side out front, it's Burton and Cindric at Talladega.
It's no aggressive here.
Checkers or wreckers sedan.
And my crew chief, he likes when I haul ass.
Checkers or wreckers sedan. Checkers or wreckers sedan.
What are you gonna do? You got in the way.
Checkers or wreckers sedan. Checkers or wreckers sedan.
I'd be bad if I was in his shoes too, based off what he's done in his career. Man, what a day.
It's no aggressive here.
Is that still your ringtone, Joey? I know for a while you had that loaded in there, right? Checkers
I think
or
there's
wreckers?
there's no filter with that kid.
No, him and Dave
comes right
Ellens.
out.
Him and Dave Ellens are a perfect pairing. I had a lot of fun with Dave. I'm glad that he's got a guy like Noah that, oh, hey, Noah, what are you doing, bud? That's not good.
Yeah,
We've seen it get shuffled out
dear.
by the Toyotas a few laps ago during the commercial break. And maybe he's just regrouping back there for a second.
Oh, he's got a head of steam going now.
Hey, let's go back to Dave Ellens. He was your crew chief when you won the championship driving for Junior Motorsports in 2018. He's won 4 plate races with 4 different drivers, including you, but he's never won here, and I know that bothers him. He wants to win at this place.
You know, it's funny is we actually talked on the phone about a day or two ago, and he still reminds me when I gave up this race on the last lap to Spencer Gallagher.
Here's 9 Radio.
Y'all good? Yeah, just getting ready for starting lineup next week.
Okay. There you go. Part of the equation, fastest lap. Lay back and rally behind all those cars in front of you. You cut a fast one, and you got a real chance to have a good starting position if you can match up all of the other analytics, which would also be a good finish today. And hey, Cindric is leading, but look who's right behind him. Ty Dillon driving the 54. This is 4th start of the year. He's had no luck, but right now he's in position to pounce, Vince.
Well, isn't it fitting that he's running second? I mean, he's finished second 6 times since he got his one Xfinity win back at Indianapolis in 2014. But you mentioned, Adam, it is his 4th race of the season. In the first 3, he has had 0 luck. This is a tough place to come back and get good luck. But that's what Ty Dillon needs today. Needs a good, strong finish. And he's showing right now he's got the car and the position to do it. But we got a long way to go.
And he's been very open, has Ty Dillon, on social media about how he struggled mentally because of all the things that have gone wrong. Having a good afternoon so far at Talladega with 10 to go in stage 2. Here's our Xfinity fastest lap. And I would say Gregson's in a pretty good position. North of 196, next best, Brett Moffitt at 193. Maybe he knows what he's doing down there.
I mean,
yeah,
hey,
it's a heads-up call, wasn't it?
Yeah, I got shuffled out. I'll lay back here and get a good run.
I do like how his crew chief's like, are you all right? What are you doing back there?
I think that was Brandon McReynolds, but I mean, it could be Dave. But
that's funny.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone. We were wondering, just sitting up here watching.
He's got to the outside of the 22. Huge move right there.
Jeb Burton pacing things on the inside lane right now, Regan.
Well, a strong start for the 10 car of Jeb Burton. Adam, they had 2 goals coming into today. The first one, spend as little amount of time on pit road as possible. They got off pit road first in the first stage. The second one was to improve the middle stages of races. I'd say with that car up front right now that both goals are going pretty well. Things looking good for Jeb Burton. And I got to say, we aired that radio of him communicating with spotter Brett Griffin earlier in the race. I love hearing that his normal spotter, Freddie Kraft, is not doing this race. Brett Griffin doing the speedways instead. Go ahead and get that communication down now.
And Jeb Burton feels like this place owes it one, because when we came here last June, he was driving for Junior Motorsports. He was leading at the white flag, and it didn't work out.
Coming to your bumper, looking low, looking low, looking low. You're fine. 2 by 2. Get the 7 and the 2 lined up outside.
This is 10-car radio.
And if you wonder why they're racing like it's for the win.
Still bumper, still there, outside. 2 by 2. Top line's moving. Be patient. Clear quick, clear quick, clear quick. 2 by 2 again.
And that's how it looks from the spotter stand through the binoculars. Austin Cindric is leading. Burton, Haley, Allgaier, Ty Dillon, your top 5. I love it when Fox takes us side by side because you miss nothing, and the racing has been incredible as we hit 4 laps to go in stage 2.
I feel like we went from like a 1 to a 10. There was no in between. We took the green flag in this stage, and it's been a lot different.
And I think I know what it is. Obviously, we're getting closer to the end of the race, but also there is storms around us right now. You don't know when a cell can pop up and could be the end of the race. So I think everyone's racing like they're going for the win right now, which is awesome for us because it's so much fun to watch. There's so many big runs going back and forth. Lead changes as we see Justin Haley go back to the lead. That bottom lane's not giving up, though. It'll be a seesaw back and forth here for a minute.
It's definitely been a dogfight, and what's been making it really entertaining is the guys that do make the mistake only lose about 2 or 3 spots in the line, get back in, and it feels like 5 laps later they have a shot at the lead again. It's just been, as you mentioned, seesawing back and forth.
Somewhere Matt Collig is smiling. Outside lane, he's got all three of his cars lined up nose to tail, and jumping up in front of him, Austin Cindric in the 22. 3 laps remaining in the stage, and going back to what you were talking about, Joey, this race will be official even if we get a thunderstorm and we have to stop the action on track once we get to the end of this second stage. So that's another reason, as you said, why these guys are so aggressive. And keep in mind, the Dash for Cash is on the line, leading in that category the 9 of Noah Gragson, the only other Dash for Cash car in the top 10 right now. Daniel Hemrick, who's 8. Wow, what a move.
I tell you, it's hard to make blocks 3 lanes across the racetrack. My mirror's not that wide that I can see all the way that far away from me. That's an aggressive move. Like I said, 2 to go in the stage. Points are on the line. Weather in the area. Here we go.
You gotta love it. Derek Nealon said, "Clear the top, Mike. Come on up." I made some moves in that 2 car a couple years ago here. It'll take it. So just feeling it out. I like it.
Hard for me to believe you're the only driver to win at Talladega in the Xfinity Series for RCR. That's an amazing stat to me. As Cindric goes up in front of Noah Gragson.
Well, we know one thing. Noah Gragson is not going to try to stay behind Cindric for long. His teammate's right there on the outside. This could be the move. He might be thinking about it right here off in the corner.
I don't know. He's put Justin 3 wide about every opportunity he's had, so I don't know.
That's true. He has.
Teammates, but maybe not on the same page today. We'll see.
1 lap to go, this time by. And we talked about those Collig cars working together in that high lane. They've been busted up a little bit. Here's Jeb Burton, way back. Perhaps he anticipated a big problem in that lead draft to end the stage, so he's playing it safe, it looks like, as Cindric leads off of turn 2, and we'll see the green and white checker this time around. Ty Dillon right in his hip pocket.
A lot of shuffling. Man, if I'm not any of these cars in the first 3 or 4 spots, 5 spots, I'd be a little nervous right now.
You see Noah able to get to the outside of the 22. Helps coming equally on both sides. This is going to be a battle at the start-finish line. Who can push better? Who's going to stay committed to the car in front of them, or maybe go 3 wide and try to win the stage?
Who times the side draft, too? I wonder how this shakes out.
And watch where the start-finish line
look
is.
at that.
We'll remember that later in the race, all the way down past the tri-oval. Noah Gragson able to win stage 2. Right behind him, his teammate Justin Allgaier, who helped push him to the win in that second stage. Cindric, Jones, and Dillon complete the top 5. For Gragson, it's his 2nd stage win of the year. Stage 2 complete. It's NASCAR on Fox, live from Talladega, Alabama. Xfinity Series racing for the 8th time in 2021 with Joey Logano, Tyler Reddick, both who have won here. I'm Adam Alexander, and I'm going to tell you, they don't care who wins. They got the juice box, and they are happy.
I think we're going to see some strategy here coming down pit road. A lot of different things going on.
Gregson took 4 tires on his first stop. What will he do here? Let's go to Vince Welch.
Well, and I'll talk first about the 7 of Justin Allgaier, who jumped to that top lane late in the stage and picked up some spots, finished second. It's going to be 4 tires. The balance much better this run. As for the 19, upper left-hand corner, Brandon Jones, you see, took just 2 tires last time, just 2 this time. He liked his car much better, too. Regan?
Austin Cindric, that race car just a little bit tight. You see 2 tires and he's gone. A little hesitation as he exits the pit. And Noah Gregson, 2 tires as well for that race car. The last adjustments were very good.
Gregson for the first time, as we said, he goes 2 here. And virtually everybody that comes off pit road in the top 10 got 2 tires. Haley and Burton, the teammates at Colleague, who were 1-2 off the pit lane on our first cycle, come off 9th and 10th. And they went fuel only. We're ready for the final stage here at Talladega Superspeedway. Stay with us on Fox. NASCAR Xfinity Series racing is sponsored by Toyota. Let's go places. And since we're at Talladega, let's do a little white lightning here. And driving the whole crew around is Justin Haley. And the best part of this bus ride is Reddick's tie, I believe. Look at that. You should have gone bow tie for the broadcast, Tyler.
It's a pretty nice bow tie, but Austin got in the bird with the bird under the hat's pretty neat too.
One big happy family there.
And Joey, you informed us you don't ride shotgun with anybody.
No. I get car sick. I can't ride shotgun with somebody. I need to drive. I can't even take a car service or a Uber or whatever. I'm driving.
Yeah, it's crazy. I've got I've actually got the same problem, so, you know, you learn something new every day.
Let's analyze the first two stages of this race, and I would say the word of the day so far has been aggression. Now that we know this race is official and we have made it into the final stage, what is your approach as a driver, and do you have a favorite based on what you've seen so far, Joey?
Yeah, I was going to say the word's intense. I mean, the intensity level is very high, and like I said, I think it's because there is small cells in the area. They're popping up out of nowhere. You don't know, right? And if you don't know, you're going out there and trying to take the lead whenever chance you can get. I think that will continue into the race here. And I got my eyes on a couple guys. I obviously look at the 22 car as my teammate, but Austin Cindric. But I also look at Noah Gragson. He's been the guy making the most moves. He either goes forward or goes all the way to the back. And then he'll come back forward, though, because he's willing to make the moves. He's willing to take the risk and the chances. I got my eyes on him for sure.
Yeah, definitely. But got to keep an eye on the Colleague cars. We started to see the Gibbs guys as well line up and stay loyal to each other. When it gets closer and closer to the end of this race, are they going to be able to work better together and maybe lock out some of the guys like Noah and Austin that have been aggressive and been able to, you know, go to the front, go to the back, and move around through this field. So we'll see if that changes. A lot did in that first stage to second stage, that's for sure.
I think we'd all agree it's 3 drivers to watch going to the final stage. The 11 of Justin Haley, the 9 of Noah Gragson, and as you talked about, Joey, the 22 of Austin Cindric, who's had unbelievable maneuverability. This season, starting in Darlington on May 7th, Camping World Truck Series drivers have a chance to win $500,000 in prize money with the Triple Truck Challenge presented by Wampley. Be sure to tune in each week on FS1 to see which driver takes home the big cash prizes. Trucks back in action next Saturday when they go to Kansas Speedway. Calling the action, Vince Welch, and he's here with us on pit road today. What do you have for us, Vince?
Well, Adam, a couple of cars had to come down pit road a second time. The 54 of Ty Dillon got some right front damage around the wheel well in the right front corner when the 48 cut across his nose. And also the 16, a little communication, or miscommunication, I should say, on the original trip down pit road when they took gas only. Allmendinger had to come back down a second time, and they put 4 tires on it.
Now, when he did so well here a year ago, he had to start in the back. He'd just ride around in the back to avoid the big one. So Allmendinger is used to working his way through the traffic. We start our final stage. Gragson, Myatt, Snyder on the front row.
And tough break for Cindric there. Didn't exactly get going like he wanted to, and it's going to pay the price for Noah here. It's Myatt, Snyder, and Derek Nealon and top the spotter stand are going to get out in front.
You know, something to talk about here, too. Look at all the cars out there still. No one's crashed yet. That means there's probably a storm brewing at some point, and it could be a big one. There's a lot of cars left. Typically, this point of the race, a few cars have been knocked out. And as intense as it has been out there on the racetrack, I'm surprised we haven't had a crash. We've had some close calls, but I know they're going to keep staying really close out there and pushing and shoving as we come down to the end of this race.
Yeah, especially with the weather, as we've been talking about. I mean, it could develop at any point. You just, there's not really any time left to wait it out and ride. The guys that aren't in position, the drivers out there that are outside the top 10 are going to want to get in there. There's not even a lot of guys inside the top 10 that are happy where they're at. Everyone's trying to come to this top spot that Myatt's got right now. And we see that with multiple lines developing and guys just trying to do everything they can to get to the front.
Nobody wants to be second. You remember who finished second in this race last year? That's
nope.
right.
Yeah, you got me there. I was actually thinking about it. It's like, come on, I know what you mean, though. Yeah, absolutely.
Go for the win.
Yes.
Well, I do, but it's only because I did my homework. I would not expect the two of you to understand or remember. Hey,
well, thanks for not answering that for me.
Yeah, I didn't want to spoil your trivia question. Watch that 98 in the outside lane. We mentioned him in the early portion of stage 2, Riley Herbst, and he faded, so perhaps he learned something in the early parts of that second stage that will pay off here in our final stage as he's pushing Brandon Jones a bit there in that outside lane.
You see Noah Gragson making a move. This one's not going to work out so well for me. Has no help down there with 3 wide bottom. I believe that's going to be going to the back if he doesn't find a hole here and he's going to have to start all over again.
Well, I mean, maybe somebody, maybe you know, Brandon McReynolds, a spotter on the roof, let him know, hey, somebody else topped your fastest lap. You need to go to the back and get another one knocked out to take that fastest lap back. Maybe
At
that's
this
what
point in the race, I got to stay up there.
And here comes the 22 of Austin Cindric, jumping in front of Myatt Snyder in that inside lane, and he's getting a push from our most recent winner. Josh Berry did it at Martinsville, trying to do it again today. First win in his 13th start on the shortest track on the circuit. Wouldn't he love to get it done at Talladega?
You talk about fast cars needing to lead lines, Joey, and the 8 didn't obviously get to the back bumper of the 22, but once he came down, a really nice push off. You really saw the 22 drive away. That tells me Austin's got some good speed built in that car as well.
Absolutely. And as you see that back straightaway shot, so much fun. You watch those two cars go all the way to the top side to block. You know, you talk about this track being bigger than Daytona, but also the width of the track is another lane and a half wider, and trying to stop, you know how it is. Daytona, you can block, you know, 2 or 3 lanes and be okay. Here, it's hard to block 5 lanes. You know, you can go 5 wide around this racetrack if you're crazy, but you can do it. And trying to block that many as the leader, it takes a lot, and it takes, you know, obviously a big maneuver to do that. And we see kind of a line forming around the top here.
But it was a smart move. I mean, everything we've seen up to this point, I wouldn't have expected to see what we got right now. And a lot of cars lined up around the top. So, I mean, a good move by Cindric and Berry to jump up there and calm this thing down. They're in a good spot.
It happened quick. You know, Josh Berry might actually be the only person that's okay with second right now because he's winning the Dash for Cash. He got 100K sitting right there.
I joked on NASCAR Race Hub, he went from a late model driver to an Xfinity winner. He could win the $100,000. He might retire at the end of the year. Josh Berry having a good run here today, Regan.
Adam, he's having a great run right now. A far cry from what the earlier parts of the race were. Spotter Tab Boyd had to remind him, don't get frustrated right now. He was stuck in the back of the pack, said he couldn't find any rhyme or reason to what was going on with the moves. It was so much different than Daytona. It took him a little while to learn it. Looks like he's learning it well. Vince?
And right behind Berry is that 20 car of Harrison Burton running 8th in the playoff standings, and a lot of teams would be very pleased with that, but that's not the case for Burton and his crew chief Jason Ratcliffe. In fact, Ratcliffe told me before the race they haven't met their expectations despite a couple of third place finishes. He said they've been running around 5th and 6th too much instead of challenging for wins. Well, they're in position to challenge for their first win of the season today.
He won 4 years ago, was Rookie of the Year, Vince, talking about Harrison Burton. But when you look at Joe Gibbs Racing and plate tracks, it's not been their thing. They haven't won on one since Elliott Sadler did it here in 2014.
Let's see. Ty Dillon stuck down there on the bottom. I think he saw his teammate go down there trying to make a move and was going to go with him. Then his teammate went back up in line. Oh, no.
Just north of 60 laps complete at Talladega. Austin Cindric leading. You're watching the NASCAR Xfinity Series on Fox. Those 4 drivers are saying it. Show me the money. Who's going to win the Dash for Cash $100,000 today? Josh Berry in position right now. He's second behind race leader Austin Cindric with 48 laps to go at Talladega. And now here's the play-by-play announcer of the WWE on Fox, Michael Cole.
In a monumental main event, the leader of the Yes Movement, Daniel Bryan, challenges the head of the table, Roman Reigns, for the Universal Championship this Friday. It's an all-new Friday Night SmackDown, live at 8 Eastern, 7 Central on Fox.
I saw you light up Reddick during the WWE promo.
And some big guys, man. They throw down. They don't mess around.
Maybe we should have shown a shot of Gregson and Hemrick before we went to the WWE promo,
yeah,
huh?
I think it's time for another, you know, training day. Have some Xfinity drivers go down and learn some moves from those guys.
Day's not over yet.
Right?
A lot of things can happen. As you see these guys, they're just kind of clicking off laps here right now. I was looking at the weather during the commercial break here, and it looks like we got really lucky with the weather splitting us both sides. And maybe everyone's just clicking off some laps. Got to make one more stop here. You know, so everyone's using their heads a little bit more right now instead of going for it, which I liked when they were going for it.
Yeah, it was entertaining, but you know, you say that. I have to feel like that has to play into what is going on here. Everyone's just waiting for that last pit stop. Then we'll probably see some chaos after that.
We do anticipate green flag pit stops probably in the next 7 to 10 laps. And as we await these guys on pit road, let's crank it up.
Well, you and the 98 on the bottom. Still outside 11. To the 54. So start with the 54. It's a good fast cars here. One back to 039 in line with you. Inside here. Hang on. Just a 7, 9, 50, 98. These guys might be fixing to come. Yeah, they all right to pull down 8 behind you in line. It'll be the 98 and the 54 to the bottom lane here. Get your. Right now coming to 68. Right. 68 right here, Alex. Early to do it, just keep it tight. The 7 is now leading the bottom lane. They got rid of the 02. Still half baggy. Your tires still 2 outside. Get your brakes where you need.
Just stay bottom here for now. Stay bottom for now unless they're pitting. Unless you know they're pitting, then we'll go up. Stay bottom for now.
And here we go. A bit earlier than anticipated. 45 to go. These would be scheduled green flag stops. So hard to execute at Talladega, but so far so good. The first in, Justin Allgaier and others, Regan.
Well, as you see the 22 car of Austin Cindric peel off the racetrack right now, the question to him, what do you need? He said, the only thing I need is a teammate out here. Right now, he likes the race car. And the 8 car of Josh Berry, that race car, pretty good right now for him. They really had to coach him up on how to hit pit road.
Brett Moffitt makes a stop. So does Noah Gragson. And you guys know as well as I do, there are so many layers to making a successful green flag stop at this place.
As soon as they started coming the pit road, Tyler and I stood up because it's such an intense moment trying to slow down. You don't want to slide your tires right here because then you're going to have to put 2 or 4 tires on and you're going to lose the pack that you want to be with to try to win the race.
And you saw the weepers, the rain we had earlier today. That makes it difficult as well, Vince.
Well, and just as Joey indicated about not sliding the tires, that's exactly what they told Harrison Burton in that 20. Get in, get gas, but don't slide them. The 19 of Brandon Jones as well. They like their car. And the 2 of Myatt Snyder. Be patient is the message, Regan.
Well, the 10 car of Jet Burton all day long. The plan has been shortest possible pit stops. You see it right there as he peels out in front of the field. A good maneuver for them.
A mix of Toyotas and Chevrolets pitting together with 43 laps to go. David Starr also on the pit lane. And it will cycle around and put Brandon Brown in the race lead. And now here he comes off the banking. Joe Graff in the 07 also making a pit stop. And we have a spinner, the 0 of Jeffrey Earnhardt, but he collects it, and he will make it in with no accident. We stay green, Vince.
Well, in the 68 of Brandon Brown has come in one of the feel-good stories of a year ago. Such a small team took his team to the playoffs while his dad, Jerry, battled cancer. He told me before the race today, Dad is doing much better, and he wants those playoffs again this year.
Ryan Sieg, second here in the fall, also making a pit stop. Let's go back and watch what happened to Earnhardt.
It's pretty early. You know, you first got on the brakes. You look at the, a lot of weepers. We call a lot of water down there on the apron. Well, that could have kind of come into play there.
It's weird.
I mean, follow though. I think he's good to go before tires on it.
Yeah, that was very odd. The rear of the car locked up really quick. Almost wonder if somehow the brake bias wasn't set where he needed to be to make the pit road smoothly.
And our new leader is Colby Howard in the 15, 19-year-old out of South Carolina. A year ago, he was thinking about graduating from high school. Today, he's leading at Talladega, but he will have to pit. And behind him on track some 5 seconds, his teammate Ryan Vargas. Landon Castle also in the top 5. Matt Mills is there, Mason Massey. All of these drivers will have to make a pit stop. 41 laps remaining in Talladega, Alabama for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Third caution of the day at Talladega, first for incident, and it's our most recent winner, the 8 of Josh Berry, who it appeared lost a right rear tire in turn 4. He's now making a pit stop. Here's the replay. You guys tell me what you think happened here.
Well, you see it there in the back of your screen. Yeah, I mean, for him to lose it all by himself like that, I'm pretty certain there's a tire that's gone. And there you see part of the carcass of the tire. Maybe off the right rear.
Hey, but he hangs on to it, and fortunate for him, I mean, the grass got him at Atlanta in a big way, if you remember.
Right.
Looks like he kept everything in order, gets 4 tires, and he should stay in the game.
Yeah, he's staying on the lead lap. I say he'd be good to go.
Tomorrow on Fox, the NASCAR Cup Series is here in Talladega. It's the Geico 500 race day coverage. Begins 12:30 Eastern Time on FS1. Then we continue here on Fox at 1:30. You can also watch the action on the Fox Sports app. Front row, Denny Hamlin, who won here last fall. Joey Logano on the front row as well. Reddick, you start 20th tomorrow. Should be a good race. Hamlin up there going for his first win of the year. So under caution, and it's for Josh Berry, but look at the puddling and the weepers as these drivers made green flag pit stops a moment ago. Free pass goes to Jeffrey Earnhardt. He had the spin coming to the pit lane. We'll have the green flag when we come back to Talladega. Today we're in Talladega, Alabama, and here is the remainder of the Xfinity Series on FS1. In 2 weeks, throwback weekend at Darlington. We're racing on May 8th. That's a Dash for Cash race. So is Dover next month. Then we go to the road course in Austin, Texas, COTA. Charlotte weekend, Memorial Day weekend. That's a drivers only broadcast. We head to Mid-Ohio for some more road racing, and we wrap up our portion of the schedule June 12th on FS1 from Texas Motor Speedway. That will be All-Star Weekend for the NASCAR Cup Series. So all those drivers that were yet to make a stop under green have come in, and it's cycled through, putting Harrison Burton in the race lead. Cindric is up there. So is Jeb Burton, Noah Gragson, A.J. Allmendinger. I don't know about you guys, but this is setting up to be a heck of a finish. We're inside of 40 to go, and everything is settled out. But something tells me we have not seen that yellow flag for the final time.
Absolutely not. But I got my tires. Whatever I got on it, I got it. But I have fuel to get to the end. It is time to go. I don't think you're going to see a whole bunch of that single file racing, I don't believe, because you're not looking for one more pit stop. At that point in the race earlier, it was kind of like, you know, maybe we'll just click off some laps. I got to make another pit stop anyways. Now I have everything I need. It's go time. Get me to the front.
Yeah, I mean, you can be more right. I mean, the pit stop's out of the way. Now you're just purely battling for position as the laps click off and we approach the end of it. And that intensity is just, I don't know, it's been all over the place today. It was pretty high, it was pretty tame there this last run that we had, but it's going to go right back to 10 where it was in stage 2, I feel like.
There have been 30 races here at Talladega. Today is the 31st for the NASCAR Xfinity Series 12 races have had a last lap pass. So I know you guys are saying, as we're well over 30 laps to go, we're starting to get to go time, but when do you officially hit the button? Because I feel like maybe you got to have a little gas left in the tank for those closing laps, right?
I think you're talking to maybe a biased opinion over here. You got two of the most aggressive drivers in the Cup Series that say, I hit the button now as soon as the green flag comes out. That's when I hit the button.
Yeah, it's go time, man. You got to feel it out from this lap to the last one. If you ride around, you know, you may not have, like I said, it's all about working with those guys. We've had a lot of laps up to this point, but you've got the people that you want to work with now, and it's time to make it happen.
Paul Wolf, Randall Burnett calling the shots for you guys tomorrow. If you're watching today, cover your eyes during this race tomorrow, because these two, they're ready to go get it from the very start of the race. Let's get an update on Josh Berry. Regan?
Well, guys, that was definitely a flat tire for that car as we speculated. He came on the radio a lap before, said the tire is going down. Shortly thereafter, it did. He had the problem, had the spin. A second pit stop just to make sure everything was clear fender-wise on that car. They should be good to go to the end. They just need a caution as they're one lap down right now.
Yeah, they did go a lap down, as you said, so they'll need that free pass. And speaking of need a free pass, that Logano fan a moment ago needs a free pass. He was cashed out up there.
Yeah, he's resting up for tomorrow. Big day tomorrow. Yeah. I'll be there in a few minutes as soon as this race is over.
There he is. Give him a nudge.
My bud.
As we go green, we listen in on A.J. Allmendinger. He restarts 5th. That is 3rd in that inside lane. Front row, Harrison Burton, Austin Cindric.
2 by 2 all the way back. Two on you tight. Now quarterback. Half back. Clear the 9. Clear the 9. Still clear. Coming with a run. 2 still. 2 off of you. 1 off of you. Just the 22. Just the 22. Clamp to you tight. Clamp to you tight. Now get in the way. Half back to the 2.
Harrison Burton has not spent a ton of time out front today. He's only led 5 laps, so how difficult now this late to manage the front of the field. It's got to be very difficult. Let's listen in to Justin Haley.
Hit the go switch because there could be some weather.
Like an actual switch or like an internal switch?
Like the internal switch.
15 switches in here. I didn't know which one. They're all color-coded.
It's like driving a space shuttle, man. There's so many switches in there.
Oh, yeah. You can always count on Justin to have the good, sarcastic sense of humor.
You know, it seems like the college guys, they have a lot of fun doing this.
Oh, yeah.
You hear them on the radio all the time. They're joking around, having a good old time. And it's cool. It's cool they're having fun. You should have fun doing this. This is, you know, an opportunity of a lifetime to drive a race car at Talladega, or really anywhere driving a race car. You need to appreciate that opportunity. Not everybody gets it. You better enjoy it while you can.
And it's a family affair at the front right now. I mean, you got Harrison Burton leading, and down in that bottom lane, Jeb Burton looks good in the 10. Noah Gragson now a part of the mix.
Yeah, we saw the 9 put the 22, you know, top of 3 wide. The 98, Riley Herbst went with Austin Cindric, but, you know, got some Chevrolets lined up in the middle. A lot of cars up on the top. We'll be curious to see if they can get some momentum coming back here.
Yeah, it's a pretty loose pack right now. You see there's a lot of distance between all the cars. Some 3 wide racing. As that tightens up, the runs will get big again towards the front.
Jeb Burton noses back out front down low. And as we watch Harrison Burton in that outside lane, we remind you he'll be racing on Fox tomorrow, making his Cup debut in the 96 car. Look at A.J. Allmendinger sliding up in front of the 20, and Jeb Burton jumps out in front of him. Teammates working together outside. And now back down toward the yellow line.
This is kind of the first time in a while we saw 2 teammates be up front trying to control the race. We'll see if that works. Because you know when the 9 car is anywhere near the front, he is not staying in line for anybody. He's going to make the move. The thing is, I'm not sure anyone's going to want to work with him.
Gregson did get a little bit of a push there from Justin Allgaier, the team car.
I think if you're behind Noah, you want to work with him. If you're in front of him, I'd be a little worried, right?
You're in the mirror all the time. Well, Tyler, what's your percentage of time in the mirror compared to looking at the windshield?
Oh my gosh! In these cars, in this race I won here, I don't think I looked out the front windshield the last 3 laps. When you're up front and you got nothing to look at, like Jeff Burton right here, oh man, he's got a handful. He might be looking forward now, but I'm looking in the mirror a lot.
Yeah, it's getting intense here, guys, for sure. Big moves, big blocks.
Here's Cindric again.
Get back to the top, man.
Coming through the middle is Brett Griffin, coaches our race leader, Jeb Burton. 29 laps to go. The 10 is out front. Top 5 at Talladega. Jeb Burton, A.J. Allmendinger, Austin Cindric, and we've got trouble.
We have pretty good size.
Brandon Jones among them involved. Michael Annett and Ty Dillon in the 54.
Man, hate that for Ty Dillon. I mean, we've all talked about it. He just can't escape these kind of situations right now, and that's tough for him in this part-time schedule he's got.
A couple of Gibbs cars torn up in this one here.
Brandon Jones, one of our drivers, going for that $100,000 bonus via the Dash for Cash, and he's busted up and probably all done today.
Let's see what happened here. Oh, looks like the 07's trying to squeak up. Maybe had a flat tire.
Joe Graff lost, either had a tire go down or lost the handling for sure in some way.
I mean, for him to get that tight and drive all the way past cars to find the wall, I'm pretty sure he had something go wrong. And that just causes chaos.
These cars do creep up on you. I mean, you do feel very good in the draft here, but situations like these are the ones that cause these big pileups. Exit a 2, exit a 4. All of a sudden, you don't have any handling issue all race long, and you get in a situation like that with cars on your outside, and you know the car just does something you're not predicting, and it creates situations like these.
Unbelievable work by our camera folks. I mean, you can just see the debris flying through the air off of these race cars. Jones trying to get through, and Annett almost spun clean down in front of Ty Dillon, but once the 54 got together with the 19, it was on.
And not that you can say you're lucky in a moment like that, but Ty Dillon was a little bit lucky that Brandon Jones was there, because that was going to be a hard hit into the outside wall.
4th caution of the day. 2nd time we've seen the yellow flag in our final stage. Don't miss the return of former heavyweight champion Andy Ruiz as he takes on rugged veteran Chris Arreola, plus a stacked card of Mexican firepower. It all goes down next Saturday live on pay-per-view. 27 laps to go for the NASCAR Xfinity Series at Talladega Superspeedway with Joey Logano, Tyler Reddick. I'm Adam Alexander. Great to have you with us on Fox. And here's the reason for caution number 4.
Yeah, and like we said, I think something happened with the black car, the 07, to just start this wreck. And, you know, I think something was wrong with this car and just created a mess.
Yeah, it's a tough break for Joe Graff Jr. And obviously, those Gibbs cars, you know, Brandon Jones was racing for a lot today. On top of, you know, always going for the win, that you hate to get caught up in something like this when you have a shot at $100,000 with the Dash for Cash.
How about being a team owner in these situations? You know, in these races, you just don't know what's coming up next. And the good part is you want your teammates to all work together, but the bad part is if there's a crash, most of the time, all of them are going to get in it together. So you're all in or all out.
Yeah, it's quite literally.
Oh, I wouldn't want to own a car at Talladega.
And for Brandon Jones, 3rd time in the last 4 races, his car's gotten beat up and he'll finish deep in the field. Jeb Burton, the leader, when we return to the green flag. We have more proof today that social media is undefeated, because we have some celebrities tweeting about today's race. And this from Chad Johnson, Ocho Cinco, 29 laps to go. My good friend Jeff Burton is leading. Did I miss something? Did I miss something? Because
Jeff.
I mean,
wait a minute here.
And here's my thing: is he talking about Jeb, J-E-B, who is leading, or Jeff's son Harrison, who was leading the race? I don't know, but Jeff is here, so that's good.
We know he's not in the car. We found him.
or he has a twin brother.
Let's go to Vince.
Well, certainly a frustrating end of the day for Brandon Jones, one of our Dash for Cash contenders. What happened there, Brandon?
Yeah, gosh, such a difficult track to make it to at the end. I just saw whoever it was in front of me, I can't name the car number, but I saw him kind of get turned or lost it, and Stevie was yelling, check up, and I thought that was definitely not the right thing to do. Man, yeah, so this right here came up into me, and at that point I couldn't see it. So it's hard to miss the ones you can't see, but hate it for, gosh, Menards, everybody that puts a lot of effort into coming here. I don't know, man, we're going to have to go back to the drawing board, try to get the teammates worked with us a little bit better next time as well. I don't think we, as a group, executed that the way we needed to, so we'll go to the next one. We got still some momentum here. We have some speed today for sure.
Thanks, Brandon. And a pointed statement there, Adam, about the teammates working together. We'll see how that might develop as this race draws to a close.
And now only 2 team cars remaining for Joe Gibbs Racing. Next up for Brandon Jones in 2 weeks, Darlington, where he won last September. The impact of the pandemic on youth sports has been significant, and while recovery has started in some communities, kids most in need are still on the sidelines. Visit goodsports.org to learn how you can help Fox Sports and Good Sports restore play for at-risk youth and the programs that serve them through donations of brand new sports equipment. Inside lane on the restart is your leader, Jeb Burton. Outside of him, Austin Cindric. Here's 22 radio.
I think everyone's going to have to race like the rain's going to end it, so it could be a crazy 23 laps here. I'm just getting right on my windshield.
Oh, Brian Wilson, the crew chief, coaching up his driver as if he needed to have the green light turned on when it comes to aggression.
Yeah, I mean, you got to go either way, whether it's about to rain or not. There's only 24 laps to go, which is a long time. But I guess we'll have to kind of wait and see.
Yeah, you know, I look up above, and this cloud right here kind of snuck up on me. I didn't see it up there, and yeah, I think that's what I'm seeing from.
As I was talking
above,
there a minute ago, I saw the whole grandstands all of a sudden stand up and start moving. I was trying to figure out what was going on, so I got silent for a second. It looked like some weather might be moving in.
Yeah, we were getting ready to go green, and now they've added a lap.
Something must happen here.
And they appear to be monitoring the skies. And if you weren't with us earlier, we have crossed past the second stage. So this race would be official should it rain and we lose the track, and eventually we'd be up against daylight here as we try to dry this place because it is so massive.
Wow. Yep, there you got it. We got rain on the windshield. That's not good.
Look at the radar here.
Boy, it's not much, is it? Look at that.
It's like a small cell. I mean, I think this thing could pass fairly quickly. There's a little bit of yellow in there. That would say a little heavier rain. I'm not a meteorologist here, but let's listen to the 10 here.
Rain, 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 rain. It makes my track to 60.
Oh, Brett.
Was that Brett or Chris? I can't tell the two apart.
That was Chris at first, and that's definitely Brett singing. Yeah, if I'm Jeb Burton, I'm out there screaming, it's raining sideways, it's, you know, tents are blowing away. We can't resume. I think Austin's saying totally something different, though, if I was Cindric.
They are going to bring him down pit road here. And just for what it's worth, Jeb was second in this race last year and was leading at the white flag lap. So he came here feeling like there was some unfinished business. And for the record, his dad, Ward, won the Daytona 500 back in 2002, had a lot of great success in NASCAR, 4 career Xfinity Series wins for Ward, and you know Jeb would love to join his dad in that category.
I think we missed Jeff's rain dance. We must have missed it before we cut to him. He must have been up there doing his little, little movement to get the clouds to open up.
That must have been it, obviously.
I don't know. I tried.
Well, hopefully this isn't, as you saw, the cell wasn't really big. But we'll say, yeah, they're rooting for the rain, that's for sure. Obviously, if you're the 10 car, all you want is it to pour right now. If you're the other racers, other 39 cars on the racetrack, you're going to say, let's go back. It's not that bad. It'll dry up soon. There's some big raindrops on the windshield.
Yeah, now it's raining hard. And
they
you
have
know,
lost the track
this
now.
track is so big that you can get a little rain cell and it only impacts a portion of the racetrack, but this shot shows it all. It's coming down now, Regan. Yeah, I mean, we saw it on the front straightaway, and there's our shot down the back straightaway. So we have got precipitation everywhere.
And I was up here trying to play the weatherman, and during the commercial break, I said, "Oh, we're good to go with the weather." It started raining. This cell kind of popped up out of nowhere on me.
Let's try Regan one more time.
Hey guys, it might look okay where you guys were at. I assure you it's not okay down here where I'm pretty sure I see hail falling to the ground right now.
No, we're pretty good up here, though. Thanks for asking.
No precipitation up here, Regan. I think we're okay.
Wow, that's a lot of water.
Uh-oh.
It's been a crazy day, right? I mean, we entered thinking we had like an 80% chance of rain all day long. Most of it stayed south and east, so we really were able to dodge the bullet, got the ARCA race in earlier today, and everything was going good for these Xfinity teams inside of 30 to go, and now the skies have opened up, and as you saw, the fans are running for cover, and we will put out the red flag with 23 laps remaining, and now it becomes a race against the rain, drying the track, and how much daylight do we have left here in Talladega, Alabama?
I think it depends on how long it takes to dry this track. If the sun comes back out, it may dry pretty quick, but you got to remember this track's 2.6 miles long. This isn't like we're drying Martinsville a couple weeks ago, where you have a half-mile racetrack. This is a lot of asphalt to be able to dry. And you got to try to dry the skid pads and everything, right? Last thing you want is someone to spin out and start headed towards the inside wall in the in the water, and then all of a sudden hit the wall even harder. You don't want that, but. As you can see, these race cars aren't sealed off very well. There's a lot of water inside the car. Maybe they need to check their, their roof a little bit.
The roof hatch is letting some water in, unfortunately.
We talk and we joke about how aggressive you have to be at a place like Talladega. And I talk to so many drivers in preparation for this race. And one thing you always go to is, where do you want to be on the final lap? And virtually everybody says, I want to be in the lead for one reason. And that is because they know if the caution comes out on that final lap, you are going to be declared the winner. I go to the situation we're in now. Jeb Burton was fighting hard at the front, and because of that, it could pay off in a trip to victory lane now that we've got the rain, the race is stopped, and could be at some point made official.
Absolutely. I want to defend the lead. I don't want to have to make the move. I want to be there already. I kind of feel like it's the safest place out there, although I've been wrecked from the lead a few times. So there might not ever be a safe place on the racetrack, but I want to at least have the lead because there's been plenty of times there's a last lap crash. It happens a lot on these super speedways. Put me in the front. That's where I want to be.
Yeah, normally when two cars tangle like that on the last lap, it's second and third or third and fourth or so on and so forth. But, obviously, we've seen about wreck happen about every way possible and imaginable on these super speedways. But when you're in control like that, when the caution does come out, you're in the best seat in the house.
I would say today has been a bit of an emotional roller coaster for these drivers, right? Because as we said, there were a lot of folks that thought we will never go racing today because of the forecast. Then you get out there and it's the intensity of racing the rain and not knowing how long we will go. And now you get to this point, and you're Jeb Burton sitting inside that race car. What are your thoughts? And we've just received word, because there is no sunshine and we have lost the entire track. Jeb Burton is leading. We don't have time to dry the track. Jeb Burton, first career win comes at Talladega Superspeedway.
I don't think he knows yet.
He doesn't know yet. He's like, no,
wait,
you're messing
what?
with me, right?
You won?
Look at A.J. Allmendinger.
Okay. I don't know what that's like. I've never won a race that way, so I can't imagine the.
I won my first race in the rain. It's a little bit different than finishing the whole race, but he was in the lead when it happened. He deserves to win. He gets to win. And something I see there is so cool about colleague racing. Their teamwork is second to none. There is true joy to see their other teammate win. I think there's something to be said about the leadership of that team to be able to do that.
And they're the two leaders right there, Joey. Chris Rice in the hat, Matt Colleague on the left in the golf shirt, who really has made all of this happen. You can't give enough credit to them and the way they have built this organization from a single car team to getting them into playoffs to winning races, to running for championships, and now they add another victory. They've won 3 in a row at Talladega. Last year, 2 wins for Justin Haley, and today the checkers to Jeb Burton. What an awesome scene.
That's pretty cool.
It's always fun to do burnouts, man. And you know what? You can do a burnout for a long time in the rain because your tires aren't going to wear out that quick.
Yeah, take advantage of it.
Let her rip, man. Keep burning them down.
You know, he was running part-time last year for Junior Motorsports, and he felt like he needed to parlay that opportunity into a win to further his career, and he was unable to win. And as I said earlier, the closest he came right here at Talladega. He hadn't forgotten about that. He told me earlier this week, I need to go get a W, and now he has. What a huge victory.
There you go. There you go. I'm like, buddy, it's wet down there. It's muddy. There you go. He's maintained his composure. That was good. My composure wouldn't have been that. You would have seen the reaction on my face. I was like, oh, this is about to get ugly.
You ever wrecked a car doing a burnout before?
Yes.
You have? Okay, me too.
Yeah, it's not fun.
All right.
I won't tell you where.
It's embarrassing, but it's
not a lot of people
cool
know at least.
It happens.
Let's go to the onboard when he about threw it away, celebrating. One hand, casual, clutch fist.
It's sinking in now. You can see it in his face.
How about this? We've had 8 races this year. Half of them have given us first-time winners in the Xfinity Series. Ty Gibbs, Myatt Snyder, a couple of weeks ago, Josh Berry, and now Jeb Burton.
Jeb's been at this a long time. I mean, I remember coming into the truck series. He was, forgive me, I forget the name of the team, but he's in that Ford truck. And it's been tough. I mean, he's had good opportunities. Things haven't gone great. And he's got a great opportunity here with College Racing. And it's been really great to see that team, that organization grow.
And Noah Gragson, for a second consecutive race, Vince, wins the big money. He gets the $100,000 in the Dash for Cash.
Yeah, you know, normally you win $100 grand, you're pretty excited about it, right? And Noah Gragson wins $100,000 with the Dash for Cash, but at the same time, balancing a little bit of disappointment because you didn't get a chance to run for the win. Did you feel like you had a car capable of winning?
Absolutely. Our Bass Pro Shop True Timber Camaro was really fast, and I could really go anywhere I wanted to. We made good adjustments on the pit stops. The pit crew did an awesome job all day, and I was really just trying to do big highlight moves and trying to get on the big screen here and on TV. $100,000 is a big one for us, and this is 2 times in a row, 2 weekends in a row, so it's pretty cool to be able to do that. And but man, I wanted to race for the win really bad for Johnny Morris and this 9 team. I know how much this track, Talladega, means to not only Johnny Morris and the rest of the Bass Pro Shop group, but the Earnhardt family as well. So the motor guys over at the Hendrick Engine Shop, they did a heck of a job this week, worked their tails off. Fab Shop, awesome job after Daytona, and 100,000 is nice, but I race for wins. So it is what it is, but we're in Dega, baby.
Yep.
Appreciate all you guys watching, and roll tide. Mix your decks.
Well done. Thanks, Noah.
Not the start to the year that Noah Gragson wanted, but for the second straight week, as we talked about, he's won $100,000. Your winner, Jeb Burton, first of his career at Talladega. Rain ended things with 23 laps to go at Talladega. The man out front, Jeb Burton, and he is a winner. Let's go to Regan Smith.
Adam, he is absolutely a winner for the first time in his Xfinity Series career. Jeb, what are the emotions like right now, man?
Man, I'm trying not to cry. Whew. These guys, they deserve to win. They hadn't won all year last year, and I was so close to last year. And to get out of this tractor in victory lane's awesome. But Nutrient Ag Solutions, without them, I wouldn't be here. And all my partners, Cheddar's, Scratch Kitchen, Alsco, Rocky Boot, State Water Heaters, Colleague Racing, Matt Colleague, Chris Rice. It's just unbelievable.
Congratulations,
Thank you.
Jeb.
I appreciate it.
Second straight race. We've seen a lot of emotion in a victory lane interview. Today it's for Jeb Burton, and he'll be celebrating this one for a long time. Congratulations from the boss. I don't know if he made a wish, but Jeb Burton has got the pot of gold. Rain showers hit Talladega with 23 laps to go. The 10 car was out front, and because we're running out of daylight and have not enough time to dry the track, he is declared the victor. It's his first win in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. And this, much like what we saw at Martinsville a couple of weeks ago with Josh Berry, is going to be a very popular win.
I absolutely love seeing the emotion. We were talking about before when he was in his car driving around doing burnouts. Like, I don't see him that excited in there. Like, yeah, I'd be stoked. I get crazy when I win. But to see the emotion when he got out of the car, I think that's when it finally hit him. And speaking of the names and the people that have helped him, Jeb has had he's a scrapper in my mind. Yeah. He is scratched and clawed trying to get a good opportunity. He's found a good opportunity at Colleague, and he's got it in his first victory. And no better place than Talladega. Congratulations. It's fun to watch that emotion.
Yeah, he's had a very up and down road. Like I said, he was running trucks back when I first got into truck racing. And, you know, it's been that way for him. So when you break through and have a win like this, and, you know, with the group that's giving you the chance that gave Jeb Burton this at Colleague Racing, you know, I can't imagine what it's like for him. I've never won a race in the rain. Joey says, you know, one of his first wins was, but you know, we were waiting for that light switch, and when he got out and Regan started talking to him, there it was. the waterworks, and you saw how excited he was.
In the offseason, they called him into colleague racing. He thought it was the next step in putting a sponsorship deal together to try to have a full-time ride. They surprised him and told him, you're going in the 10-car full-time. He broke down then. He broke down again today in Victory Lane. Jeb Burton is a winner. Great job, guys. Good luck tomorrow in the Geico 500.
Thank you very much. We'll take all the luck we can at this racetrack.
Absolutely.
Where's that pot of gold?
The next time the Xfinity Series is on the air from Darlington, May 8th, we're on FS1. We'll see you then. Another Dash for Cash event tomorrow. Race day happens on FS1 at 12:30, over to Fox at 1:30, and the Geico 500 happens on Fox at 2 o'clock Eastern Time. Tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, it's The Masked Singer, followed by Game of Talents at 9 Eastern Time. For everyone here at Fox, I'm Adam Alexander. So long, and congratulations, Jeb Burton.
This copyrighted telecast